everybody, Shawn Hilton here, owner and operator of Comics Cubed at 121 East Sycamore in the beautiful heart of downtown Kokomo. Right now, lots of great construction is going on that is helping make our city bigger, better, faster, and easier to park in. Right now, all the snow is melting, so be a little careful out there. It's a little bit slick. This morning, we got a lot of great comic books to talk to you, but the biggest thing that's happened in the world of comics today that I have seen, besides it being a fabulous new comic book day, is the revelation of Guardians of the Galaxy trailers got Rocket Raccoon and Groot as his personal houseplant and muscle, according to the ad itself. So get out there, check us out on Facebook at Comics Cubed and Kokomo.com. We have a link to the Guardians of the Galaxy Marvel trailer, which you are surely going to want to check out to see Star-Lord, Gamora, Drax the Destroyer, Groot, and of course, everyone's fan favorite, Rocket Raccoon. This week in comics, though, no Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm sorry. We got a handful of stuff. First up, we have a restock of Paul Allor's G.I. Joe issue that he has written. All the copies here are signed by Paul. He lives and works in the city of Kokomo for the city of Kokomo. He is one of our most outrageous, abundant talents out there right now. Paul's working all the time, a lot of scripts going on for IDW. He's working on G.I. Joe, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and several personal things of his own making. So stop on in, check out Paul Allor's work in G.I. Joe. Check out a few of the other things we've got, including Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Images Sheltered, the very first trade paperback. I won't review it, we'll just let you read it. First up, on the actual review section, the last issue of this current series of Daredevil. Daredevil number 36 by Mark Waid and Mr. Samney. Big revelation. If you read the last issue, you know that in the last panel or two, Matt Murdock comes out under oath in a courtroom with the judge and says, "I'm Daredevil." Shocking revelation. It's been going on through the Marvel Universe, whether he is Daredevil or whether he isn't Daredevil. Is he lying about it? Everybody thinks he might be. It's like the worst kept secret in the Marvel Universe, but he's a lawyer under oath, and he says it. I am Daredevil. All in a ploy to trick the bad guys and help the world be a better place. Ends in a culmination of action and fun with, in the end, a big twist that I don't think, you know what, we're going to ruin it because everybody already knows he's going to San Francisco. So the New York State Bar exam guys, whatever, board, they disbar him. He's kicked out of New York. He can no longer practice law in the state of New York. However, he still seems to be probably able to practice law in San Francisco. So, like Punisher, Daredevil's leaving the Big Apple and heading out west where he's going to make his new home. So Daredevil number 1 coming in March. Same exact team, just a little restart with a fresh scenery. Mark Waid's done an excellent job on the writing. As for a big ending, a little anticlimactic. It's a great read, a great normal issue. But for this being like the end issue of a series, it could have been a little more, it could have had a little more meat on the bones. But then again, all the fans know it's the end of this series, but him and the entire creative team are just going over to a brand new book called Daredevil. So I don't know that you need such a giant shocker of an ending to really make that work. So, but overall, very, very good. Amazing X-Men number 4. We follow the exploits of the X-Men into heaven and hell, where they're still trying to get their friend Nightcrawler, Kurt Logan, somehow to save him. Kurt died. Very tragic accident in a kind of throwaway issue several years ago. And just like everybody else in the Marvel Universe, he can't stay dead, which kind of makes me happy because he's a character that I enjoy and thought that the way they killed him off was a little silly, a tad bit trite. So in this, you've got the entire team heading into heaven and hell on pirate-type ships. Yeah, I can't make that up. Pirate-type ships, actually. And Pirate Zaziel, who's supposedly Nightcrawler's father, is going around basically stealing the souls to try and set himself up as like the king of hell or something. But everybody knows Nightcrawler's a good guy, and he's not going to put up with that, so he goes right at him. You got, I think, Jason Aaron here, and Ed McGuinness and Dexter Vines. So a great team. The writing's a lot of fun. This is your fun X-Men book. Even though, again, we're dealing with heaven and hell, which you think might be a little more crazy, it's still pirate ships, over-the-top action, a really good, fun X-Men team. They've added Angelica Jones, who is Firestar from the Amazing Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, has joined the X-Men, and like her very first 15 minutes with the team, they're sucked into this giant thing. So Iceman, Wolverine, Beast, Storm, and of course Nightcrawler. They throw in Northstar from Alpha Flight, who's recently become an X-Men. Really good, fun read. If you're looking for a lot of depth and seriousness and angst, this is not your book. This is the book that you want to be reading if you want kind of an 80s feel, fun, lighthearted, go-to comic, and just kind of a palate cleanser after you get done with the Punisher and Red Team and other things that are a little more in-depth. So this, a really fun little comic. From Image, we have my Miss of the Week, Undertow. Really thought this might be a fun little book. Orlando, Trakhanov, somebody named Mowers involved. Atlantis people dealing with Neanderthals, trying to figure out something. And man, this is one of those styles where the art's really kind of funky and the story's really got something to it, but none of it ever seems to mesh to me. In fact, quite frankly, reading it last night was kind of difficult. It just didn't flow. It missed it was like, you know, when your car is just off that little bit and you can feel it or something. Something was just not right here. The art might have been great on a different book. The story might have been better with a different artist. Maybe if things had been this or that, the planets had aligned. But overall, you just ended up with this lackluster, mucky mess of a comic that just wasn't that amazing. All the elements to be amazing, they're in here. They exist. It just, for me, personally, just didn't come together. And so you've got this super strong leader. You've got a young recruit. They're off to, you know, somehow Atlantis, and there's something, and it's all wrong and horrible, and they're going to fix it, and action, and some adventure, a little bit of suspense, great panel count, a lot of comic for your buck, but just, for me personally, it's a miss. I hope that other people check it out. Maybe they'll find something in it I didn't see, but didn't work for me. Avengers World. A lot of Marvel books. I don't know if we've got any real DC books this week. Harley Quinn 3 came out, but I didn't get a chance to read it, so... Not to say there's not great DC books out this week. Unfortunately, they just didn't make the list, so I apologize. Avengers World, yet another Avengers title. This one, though, entirely Shang-Chi. If you're into the master of martial arts, then this is the book to check out. The entire thing is got that, who wrote this here? Hickman. All right, I'm going to go with Caucasian guy trying to do Hong Kong Phooey flick with, you know, different elements of this and that added together. And, you know, it's good. It was a good read. I really like Shang-Chi a lot. But when it's called Avengers World, I would expect multiple Avengers. And that's not to say that people don't show up and we don't hear from them. There's a panel or two of the Avengers. But this is pretty much all Shang-Chi. This is almost like the Shang-Chi tryout book. So, fans of Shang-Chi, you're going to love it. Avengers fans, Avengers World, this is Shang-Chi's world. So, good art, funky story, but just not that much Avengers in my Avengers world. Badass 2. Crap. Deadpool fans, you might like it. People who like the over-the-top humor might like it. Quite frankly, Dynamite, I think it's crap. I don't have any nice things to say about it. The art's not bad, but the story is just such a Looney Tunes, Acme from Looney Tunes, Deadpool, parody, pastiche, whatever. It just, I don't give a rat's about anything going on in that book. And this is the second issue that I've pretty much felt that way. You've given me a character that I just don't care about. But fans of Deadpool, fans of Bedlam, might find something in this that's going to interest them. Over the top, crazy, lunatic, action, violence, dark humor, that kind of thing. So, whatever. My fun, some other books of the week, some fun stuff here. New Warriors #1. The reintroduction, this is like the third or fourth time Marvel's tried to get these characters. They did have a long-running series in the very early 90s. They've got 2 characters from that original team on here, and then variations of some other characters. A fun little read. It's not going to be the gritty drama kind of stuff that we've seen from Marvel and DC recently. Again, this is a little like Nova, which also came out this week. they've finally gone back to kind of this comics are for everyone feel to it. You can pick up New Warriors and feel very confident that a 40-year-old will get the same out of it that maybe an 8-year-old will. And that's not to say it's written down. It's just to say that they've kind of, with these two books in particular, Nova and New Warriors, have found that, you know, we can make a book that will appeal to a mass audience of younger to older folks, from new fans to old fans. And I think they're doing a really good job with that. Not going to be everybody's cup of tea who've cut their teeth on the more, you know, in-your-face Punisher, Rachel, well, not just Rachel Rising, but other just really kind of gritty drama books that are a little hardcore. These are a little more old school comic. We're talking, you know, this gives me a feel of like the 80s and the early 90s, maybe even the really late 70s, with some more fun yet approachable things. So check out New Warriors #1, Nova, well, it says Giant #1, but it's really number 13, in which case you also get a nice Beta Ray Bill appearance who's related to Thor. That's it for this week in comics, except for the thing that Shawn wants to read but hasn't read and can't really review yet. Heck, this cool little book here about an adventurer explorer guy who inherits a house and it's a thing to the underworld based on a digital comic. I can't wait to read it. That's my I'm going to read it later book for you. So I'm Shawn Hilton. We're at Comics Cube, the premier comic book store in all of North Central Indiana, at least Kokomo, Marion, the surrounding areas. At least ask me, I'll tell you. And we're located at 121 East Sycamore in the heart of downtown Kokomo. Again, Shawn Hilton. We're going to be open Tuesday through Saturday, 11 to 6. My producer, Mike Dukes, behind the camera. Thank you all. Check us out next time.